Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Wellness Connection. I am your host, Yuridia Megehe. I am a wellness coach, a holistic healer, and a food instructor. I am delighted to have you over today because I have a very special guest. We have Candice White here joining us to talk about how, the connection with self-confidence. And often I talk about, the relationship between mind, body, and spirit. And although spirit is sometimes confused with religion, spirit doesn't have anything to do with religion. But in the alternative medicine and holistic medicine, we view the body in three. So it's always the mind, the body, and the spirit. And that the purpose of holistic wellness is to give you and make you responsible for your own health, integrating that with your doctor's recommendations. But in regular medicine, we view the body as an ill body, and specialists and doctors focus on healing the illness and focusing on the illness. On the other side of the spectrum is the holistic and the preventative side, which is how to keep you healthy and how to make sure that you are optimal and going forward and making you responsible for your own health and focusing on wellness. And today we bring my friend Candice. She is a life coach, and I am delighted to have you because Candice and I talk a lot about topics and your growth as a person, and now your growth as a life coach, and how you're going to be able to provide help to those in need. And I love the quote that you go by, and then she rose, and I'm so happy to have you here. And we're going to talk about self-confidence, and so tell me a little bit about you and how self-confidence is important to get people out of whatever hole they might be, whatever holdback they are having.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored and so grateful. Self-confidence to me is everything. It's the foundation of feeling like I'm worth it. I belong here. I'm safe. I have a place in this world. I have something to offer. For me, I have not grown up self-confident. I had a background that I felt like I didn't matter, I didn't belong, I didn't feel safe. And over the last several years, I've been really working on myself to feel like I have something to say to the world. I have something to offer. My art matters. My life matters. I'm deserving of a good relationship. I'm deserving of a good body and health and wellness and happiness. And so as my journey has been to discover that for myself, I've wanted to give that back to people. And nothing makes me more excited than to see people live their dreams and to go after the things that they want to do with their lives and to feel like they're worth it.
Yeah.
And so as a life coach, my dream is to watch people unravel the limiting stories and belief systems that they have, that they might feel that they're not worth it. And so my work is to help them unlock those different parts of themselves to discover they are worth it and that they have a place and they have something to contribute to this world and that they matter.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes we have those limited beliefs that we think they're ingrained in our DNA. We cannot detach from them, but they're just thoughts. These are this black cloud or this shadow that follows you, and whatever upbringing that you had, depending on how much your parents were not probably loved, and so there's always like catching up. Our parents and whoever raised you, they did the best that they could with the little bit that they knew how to do, and they did, the best. But sometimes, we have our own traumas, and then we keep on recycling those traumas. And to me, it's very important to bring this topic out to the world, because you are not here to be unhappy. You know, it's your birthright to be
Absolutely.
optimal and happy and fulfill your life the way you want your life to be. You know, like the visualization and the affirmation. You know, we talk with by ourselves for, you know, like for a long time. I think 80% of the time we are talking to ourselves. So
Oh,
it's very important to, you know, to what messages are you saying? What feedback are you giving your body? You know, and so I think self-confidence has to be the root of everything. You know, whatever you want to accomplish, it's
yeah.
essential. Now, do you have some sort of steps that, you know, that one has to start on this um, healing the self, healing the, you know, the self, the mind, and all those beliefs?
Um, well, sometimes it's an outside-in job. Sometimes it's what we've called fake it till you make it, and sometimes that goes into what I call posturing. Like we
Yeah.
literally like sit up, we start breathing more, we start doing things to feel better about ourselves
Yeah.
as a way to work from the outside in. But I believe ultimately to really feel self-confident, it's an inside job. It's about changing those thoughts and starting to believe in oneself.
Yeah.
I've come up with 7 different qualities of self-confidence, and posturing is one of them, where it's the outside
Wow.
in.
I just feel much better just by doing this, you know,
Right.
like lifting myself up.
Lifting,
Yeah.
opening the heart because you trust. It comes from a place of trust to let your heart be
Yeah.
open to people. Taking deep breaths, just expanding oneself, walking more confidently. It shows value to other people. But sometimes it's an inside job first for people where they start noticing, like, I don't like the way I'm talking to myself. Why do I keep calling myself a negative name? Why am I doing that? And they start taking notice of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it starts to unravel different stuff that might be limiting them that way. But there's many ways to go about acquiring self-confidence. But I also believe it's a practice. It's
It
constantly
is a
work
daily
and practice.
Yes.
I don't know if it's something we're born with as much as it's something that we constantly practice and that we're taught. And I realize I've been taught how to not like myself in my earlier years, and now I'm working to teach myself how to love myself and how to open myself back up and how to sit up taller and how to speak with authority and with worth and with value in my life. These are all things I've had to really practice at. I've taken several different classes, from how to speak publicly to how to write with more conviction, and it's constantly making myself more vulnerable and putting myself more at risk. But I feel bigger and I feel stronger, and it
Yeah.
develops this like quality inside of me.
Empowering.
Yeah,
You know, empowering your journey.
it's
You know,
completely
it
empowering.
is. Yeah.
But it's been something that's been a journey, and I like to remind people it's not just one day you're gonna just have confidence. I've had times where I'm really confident and then I forget who I am and I forget what I've done and I
Yeah.
forget, and then I feel insecure and self-limited. But it's completely a practice and a journey, and something that you can only do in the moment.
Yeah.
I can't have confidence 10 minutes from now. I
Right.
just have to be here
Right
now,
right
and
now.
just call it in and say, I am worth
Yeah,
it.
we talked about it before, and we mentioned that confidence is almost like riding a bike. You know, you have the training wheels first, and see how you feel, you know, until you get comfortable.
Right.
And when I think of people, sometimes we are very hard on ourselves. You know, we are very, you know, it has to be 120%, you know, what you give. But I believe that one has to become a bamboo, you know, flexible,
I like
and not to be, you know, a cedar tree, you know, that's so strong and so straight that can break at any time, you know, and to allow yourself to fall back, you know, to fall down and pick yourself up. And, you know, that is the emotion of elevating yourself too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And so you have workshops too. Not only do you work with, you know, one-on-one clients, but you also offer workshops in Portland.
Yes.
right?
Yeah, this summer I have a 6-week confidence course that will be teaching tools and offering different suggestions, and also doing a lot of hands-on work to really learn confidence and also become aware of our self-limiting beliefs
Yeah.
and the stories that replay in our mind of how things have been for us,
Yeah.
and replacing them with the stories that we want to have our life be, and looking at our parents differently from a different
Yeah.
perspective and
Yes.
lens.
Compassion.
Yes,
Yeah.
looking at ourselves that way, and really starting to make peace with who we are, so that we can walk into the world elevated and free and more mindful and more conscious and aware. We can eat with enjoyment rather than eating worrying about what it might be doing to our physical form.
Right,
Or
right.
there's just so much we lose perspective on, and the course is meant to bring it back to how beautiful we are right now,
Yeah.
and how valuable our life is as it is right now, and to
Yeah.
enjoy it from here on out.
And what you're doing right this moment is the most important thing that you're
Yeah.
doing. You know, Deepak Chopra, on an interview he was giving, said they asked him a couple of questions, and the questions were answered by, who is the most important person in your life? The person that I'm talking to, it is the most important person in my life. What is the most important moment in your life? This moment right here, right now. You know, sometimes, you know, we often live in the past, you know, with our past history, traumas, all of the good and bad things that happen to us, regrets, all these negative emotions, and also the future. Always, pursuing something that might bring you anxiety and stress. And you know, I believe that doing whatever you can, the best that you can right now, you know, is by far the best thing that one can do. You can do for yourself. You know, I have to add one more thing. I was reading about, you know, how emotions, self-confidence is an emotion, you know, and how emotion has play a big part in the psychology, the physiology of your body. You know, the emotions alter the immune system too.
Yes.
You know, so if you have happy emotions, your immune system is working properly, and positive emotions strengthens our immune system and keep us healthy. That's what this article said. In contrast, negative emotion suppresses the immune system and causes illness. So, you know, on that, having self-confidence is not to be arrogant in any way. Is not to be, you know, those ideas that we have of, you know, loving yourself and celebrating yourself. We view it as, you know, patting yourself in the back. Not in any way. You know, it's just celebrating this moment. You know, how far you come, and all the things that you have to pick yourself up from. You know, all the decades, you know, from a child so insecure, to a teenager, you know, with so many dreams, to this young adult that has so many aspirations and so many ideas. And every step of your life has brought you here by your inner self, you know. And so one has to be mindful and loving of whatever process you have has happened to you to bring you here where you are right now. It's beautiful. So I am so happy that we brought a little bit of our conversations, because I think you know, my purpose is to bring topics and the specialists and the people that are doing all the work to make sure that, you know, the wellness self, you know, the holistic self, the preventative self has a lot of departments too. You know, we have specialists in the healthcare system, you know, cardiologists, ophthalmologists, you name it, right? But we also have the other side of the spectrum, which is, you know, the holistic approach to life, which is, you know, a health coach, and, you know, a lot of people that play a big role into integrating and making yourself a better version of yourself and bringing optimal health to yourself. And I thank my friend Candice White. And if you want to tell us your website, how can they find you?
My website is called elleva.com, ELLELEVA, and it means she rose in French. And it's a play
Wow.
on words for she rose and created the life of her dreams.
That's beautiful. Now, at the end of this program, we're gonna share her link of how you can find her, and I hope that you like this topic and this show. And may you join me for the next one. We have many amazing things prepared for you, and thank you so much for tuning in. And have a wonderful day. Thank you, Candice.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.